Welcome everybody to the Keeping Score podcast from the Daily Interlake and Hagedorn Sports Network. I am your new host, Josh Amick. This episode, I'll be breaking down all things Range Riders, from the weekly recap of scores, new player acquisitions, and what is on the horizon for the team. So let's get right into it. The Range Riders open this week on the road against the Great Falls Voyagers, who are currently sitting at the bottom of the Pioneer League standings. After dropping the first game of the series, the Range Riders bounced back and won the next two to take the series and improve their record to 13-8. In the first game Tuesday, the Range Riders welcomed a new player, Ajay Szcepkowski, an outfielder from Georgia Gwinnett and the NAIA 2023 Player of the Year. AJ was also the first player in NAIA history to record 30 home runs and steal 30 bases. He impressed in his Pioneer League debut, going 2 for 5 while playing left field. The Range Riders took a 9-5 lead heading into the bottom of the 8th inning when things began to unravel. The Voyagers would only record 4 hits in this inning, but a walk accompanied by some wild pitches allowed the Voyagers to put up 6 runs to take an 11-9 lead. The Range Riders would score a run in the top of the 9th, but would lose the game 11-10. Mason Dinesen would homer for the 5th time this season, and catcher Jerome Hunzinger hit his first of the year. More to come on that later. Wednesday was an electric night for the Range Riders as they welcomed yet another player from Georgia Gwinnett, outfielder Blaze O'Sabin. Now, Blaze was a 2024 NAIA Player of the Year and won a national championship with the team in 2021. Also on Wednesday, the greatest rule in all of Pioneer League baseball came into effect when the Range Riders and Voyagers were all tied up after 9 innings. Unlike Major League Baseball, when the game is tied after 9, there isn't any extra innings. Instead, each team selects a home run hitter to compete in the knockout round. Each batter is then given 2 minutes to hit as many home runs as possible, and the Range Riders' Chad Castillo hit 5 compared to his counterpart Livingston Morris, a former Range Rider last year, only hit 2. The Range Riders would win the game 10-9. In the final game of the series, the Range Riders' bats exploded for 18 runs, with 9 of them coming in the 9th inning, on home runs from Mason Dinesen, his team-leading 6th home run of the year, and newcomer Ajay Szcepkowski hit a grand slam for his first career Pioneer League home run. Nick Zanga picked up the win after 5 innings of 3-run ball and struck out 7 batters in the 18-3 win. The Range Riders returned home to Glacier Bank Park on Friday to welcome the Idaho Falls Chukars and their 6-15 record. They jumped out to an early 11-2 lead with 4 runs in the second and 7 in the third, capped off by Gavin Tonko's 5th home run of the season. In the 5th inning, Christian Kirtley hit a 3-run home run, his 6th of the year, to tie teammate Mason Dinesen as a team leader, and would take a 14-7 lead. They would win the first game of the series with the final score of 15-7. Saturday night was a rough outing for the Range Riders as they found themselves in an early hole, down 7-2 after 3 innings. After starter Caleb Sophie was removed, Trevor Baker came in and pitched 5 scoreless innings to keep the game close. Mason Dinesen tacked on his team-leading home run total, hitting 2 solo shots for his 7th and 8th of the year, with his 8th cutting the lead to 7-4. That would be all the scoring the Range Riders would get, as the Chukars scored 6 more in the top of the 9th to put the game out of reach 13-4. On Sunday, the Range Riders wasted no time, coming out hot in the first inning with 5 quick runs, capped off by a 2-run RBI double by Nick Block. The Chukars would come back and score in the top of the second with a 2-run home run by Brett Barrera and a solo shot from Tyler White to cut the lead to 5-3. Then in the bottom of the 3rd inning, the Range Riders' bats exploded again with RBI doubles by Fitzgerald and Block again before Andy Atwood blasted a hanging changeup over the left field wall to drive in 3, his 3rd of the year. But they weren't done there. Dinesen would double home a run, and 2 fielder choice RBIs busted the game wide open 14-3. Tyler Wyatt would homer again for Idaho, driving in 2 more, and the final score was 14-5 for a lovely Father's Day and series win. And after the game, the team dumped an ice bucket on Paul Fletcher as he celebrated with his son in the post-game interview, so that was a nice moment. That was the weekly scoring recap, but here's some other Range Riders news you might have missed. As mentioned before, the Range Riders welcomed 2 new players from Georgia Gwinnett, Ajay Szcepkowski and Blaze O'Sabin, both outfielders, but that is not all. They also brought in left-handed pitcher Tyler Clayton to bolster the roster, and there's no confirmation yet on if Clayton will be used as a starter or a reliever. This may seem like a coincidence that 3 players from the same NAIA school all agreed to terms with the Range Riders, but it is far from it. Manager Paul Fletcher was a coach on Georgia Gwinnett, and the players liked the idea of playing for Fletch and extending their baseball careers after college into the Pioneer League. Fletcher also told me that all 3 players fit a team need, and believes that their work ethic will translate well to the Range Riders. They also added catcher Nick Gore, who previously played for New Mexico State and made the 2023 All-WAC defensive team. This move came at the perfect time as catcher Drew Sims was placed on the IL yet again, and catcher Jerry Hunzinger went back to his normal position of relief pitcher. So I want to give a shout out to Jerry for filling in a team need when the Range Riders were down to one catcher, and as mentioned before, he even hit a home run for the team. Now the Range Riders can put up runs with the best of them. Only one game last week they didn't score in double figures, and that was Saturday's loss. No doubt the new acquisition should help this team both on offense and the base pass since they can steal bases. Hitting coach Stu Peterson believes that for the team to maintain success, the pitchers have to continue to throw strikes and good things will happen. In Saturday's loss, Sophie walked 5 batters and in 2 1/3 innings and the team lost. Sunday's starter Brady Held only allowed 2 runs in 6 innings and the team won easily. Well, that is it for this week's Range Riders recap. They will begin a 6-game series at home against the Great Falls Voyagers beginning on Tuesday. So make sure you get to the ballpark and support the team as they are currently just 1 game out of a top 2 playoff spot. Thank you for joining me and listening to Keeping Score from the Daily Interlake and Hagedorn Sports Network. I've been your host, Josh Amick, and until next time, take care.